Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Vinyl Den, your channel for record collecting by record collectors. I'm Nick. Today I'm talking about the newest album from Post Malone, Austin. There's a bunch of links down below. Make sure you go check them out. There's links for the Vinyl Den Facebook group, for the merch page, for the Spotify and Apple Music playlists we put together every week, and the Patreon page. Make sure you go check all that out. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me all a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I release new episodes. So the album came out last Friday, the July 28th, and I don't like do like a quick take review. I like to actually sit down and listen to an album multiple times. I probably listened to this album at least 10 or 12 times since it was released last week. And now that I've listened to it a bunch and kind of dug into the album, I wanted to give you some of my takes on it. Give you a little background on the album. The name of it comes from his birth name, Austin Post. He actually got Post Malone by putting in his name in one of those like online rap name generators. That's how he came up with Post Malone. But this is his fifth studio album. This is the follow-up to last year's 12 Karat Toothache, which I was kind of mixed on. Some of the tracks were okay on there. I wasn't a huge fan of it though, so I was really interested when they announced this new album. The album is primarily produced by Post Malone, Andrew Watt, and Louis Bell. They do a great job with it. There was 3 singles that came off the album before it was released. You had Chemical, Morning, and Overdrive. And I really liked all 3 of those tracks. And that's the one thing I can say about Post Malone's albums is generally if I like the singles that are released beforehand, I'll like the album. So I was really looking forward to this album, especially when I heard it was more of a guitar-driven album. And I know people are talking online about how they were disappointed in the album. They really thought it was going to be like a rock album. And if you think, going into it, if you think this is a rock album, you're going to be disappointed. It's definitely like, I think the closest Post Malone will ever get to releasing a rock album, but I definitely would not call it a rock album. So there's a couple of things I noticed right away. First off, Post Malone is somebody who's always been very comfortable about sharing the spotlight on his albums. But this is the first album where he doesn't have any other features on the album. It's just Post Malone. He plays almost all the instruments on here. He does play all the guitar on the album. And like right away, I noticed that it's actually a really catchy album. Overall, I think it's a really well-produced album, probably one of the best produced albums of the last couple of years. And as big as a musician as Post Malone is, I kind of expected that. Lyrically, it's probably some of his best lyrics and probably some of his catchier lyrics also that I really kind of wasn't expecting when I went into this album. Like I said, going into this album, if you think you're getting a rock album, that's definitely not what it is. This is very much I call it a synth pop album. But it blends rock, it blends pop, it's got some trap in there, it's got some rap. It's like he really does a great job really seamlessly moving from genre to genre on this album. And I think like overall collectively, I think that's kind of what makes this album so great, so special. So I did stream some of the album on my way to the record store last week, and I didn't want to listen to the entire album until I was able to sit down and listen to it on vinyl. And I did something I generally don't do, and that's when this album was over, I immediately started it all over again and listened to it a second time. I was just that impressed with it. So some of my favorite tracks on here, Don't Understand is a great way to open up the album. Chemical is a great track. Of course, that was one of the singles off of there. Morning was another great track, another one of the singles. Socialite's a great track. Buyer Beware is a good track. Landmine's a good track. Laugh It Off, I think, is a great way to end the album. I don't think there's 17 tracks on here. 16 of them I think are great tracks. There really is only one track that I really think is skippable on here, and that's Texas Tea. And it's not that it's a bad track. I just don't think it really kind of fits on the album. My wife even said that the first time she listened to this album that the song Texas Tea sounds like Post Malone singing a Taylor Swift song. It's kind of the vibe I got from the song. So overall, like I said, I'm really impressed with this album. I think it's I gave it a solid 9. I did knock it down a little bit because of the song Texas Tea. Like I said, it has that kind of Taylor Swift kind of vibe to it, which I don't think really works with this album. But it's an okay track. I do knock it down a little bit also because of the vinyl packaging is great. The CD packaging, I know, Post Malone over the last several albums, he's released the CD without a booklet. It's just the CD in a case with a background image. And you get more with the CD release. I'm sorry, with the vinyl release. There's a booklet to it. It comes in a gatefold. There's an inside picture. It's really nice packaging. I just feel like the CD packaging is lacking a little bit. Like I said, it's still a strong 9. I think it's a great album. It's at this point, I'd probably put it as my odds-on favorite to end the year as my favorite album of 2023. It is that good of an album. Well, that's all I got for you today, guys. Thanks for checking the show out. Make sure you drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this album. So far, I know some people that aren't Post Malone fans that have loved it. I know some people that aren't Post Malone fans and don't really like it either. So I'm really interested to see what you guys think of it. Like I said, so far, it's probably my #1 album of the year. I put it a little bit above that Foo Fighters album. I've just been really, really impressed with this album. But I'd love to know what you guys think of it. Of course, if you enjoyed the episode, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. That's all I got. Until next time, keep on spinning. Peace.